guys, back here again with the lovely Sean Chen. Hi, Sean. How are
Hey,
you today? Hi.
thanks for having me. It's nice to be
Oh,
able to talk in person, not just,
I
through
know.
texting, talking with
Yeah,
thumbs.
I know. We met through Bernard actually because you and him co-host basically every Tuesday an art stream on Twitch, and that's how I've actually known you guys. You've been doing that for how long? Have you guys been doing that actually?
It's been a
Couple.
few years, and I think every Tuesday is kind of being generous, I think.
Yeah, almost every Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been very fun hanging in there. We met a lot of lovely people in there. Some of them will probably be in the chat. I know Kev hangs in here a lot. He's good peeps. Kev P West, very nice guy. But yeah, that's been very fun, and had a pleasure of getting to know you and Bernard over the past couple of years. And you guys are a riot. You guys tell the best stories I've ever heard in my entire life. And
A
I
lot of them
seriously,
are Bernard's like bathroom humor stories. I
I
mean, they're
know.
like not stories; they're actually recounting actual events in his life that involve bowel movements. But I think
Yeah.
you're a good sport for putting up with it. So,
I tell people all the time, you tell the best short stories. I'm not lying when I say that. It's literally the best short stories on the planet.
and we try to sprinkle in some art education there once in a while. So I think that was the main
Yeah.
purpose of the stream. So,
For sure. Once in a while, there's art sometimes.
yeah, actually,
Um,
Bernard draws practically on every stream, and
mm,
I wish I could too, but I just, drawing live and talking is something that you have to kind of learn to do. It's like playing guitar and singing on stage. You
yeah.
really can do like one or the other, and then to kind of synthesize it all, it takes some practice, and it's a learning curve that I don't have a patience for. So
Yeah, oh no, I thoroughly enjoy the backgrounds that he has for you guys. Like for a while, like you were guys were like in a little cart and you were driving around the city, and then you were in like that airplane thing, and then you guys had like, my favorite though is when he put your head on Chun Li's body. That's the best. That's the best. I do like it when Jerry and Court are on there, and I like that Court's been doing some art on streams with you guys because that's fun. I like you guys that are
yeah,
branching out and adding
yeah,
extra
thanks.
people on there.
Uh, yeah, hopefully there'd be more of that. I mean, I think Bernard is under tremendous deadline pressure, and I think he's a
Oh
real
yeah.
good sport for actually drawing live. But then, really, I mean, he's pressed for time, drawing and streaming. So there's no reason why, either Jerry, Courtney, or myself can't pick up the slack a little bit. But I'm not stepping up, but I'm glad those other guys are. So.
Yeah, but you do give them a lot of sass while they're doing it, though. So your,
That's what I do.
your presence is definitely missed when you're not there.
Cool.
All right. With that being said, let's go say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll come back, and then we'll get fallen into your introduction of yourself. In case the people in the chat do not know who you are, and shame on them for not knowing this, because you are legendary, the Sean Chen artist. Okay, they should know this by now. All right, we've got all the way from New Mexico. We got Las Cruces. What is up, Las Cruces? Hi, Las Cruces. All the way from the UK. What is up, Glenn? Hi, and thank you very much for dropping the links for the Kickstarter, all the way for your publishing team and for your Instagram. Thank you very much, Glenn. All the way from the other side of the world. What is up, Beefaroni? Hey, how are you doing? Canada is in the house. What's up, Dan? How are you doing? I did actually. I think he's over there. I think I seen him inside the room. Yes. Oh, hello, Jean. What's up, Jean? How are you doing? Oh, I got some people in the chat. Oh, you won the giveaway from Rob Fast Exterior? Congrats on that. That's awesome. Congrats on that. Let's see what's up here. Hello, Michael Baker. How are you? How are you doing? These are not my stories. These are Bernard and Sean's stories, and they have told them several times. But if you, I'd say my favorite one that you ever told was the one where you went running. You came back. That was my favorite one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my story. Okay, yeah.
That was your story. Yeah.
That's embarrassing. I don't know why. I think that that doesn't really get broadcast anywhere. I think I'm just telling Bernard, but
yeah.
But yeah, that gets broadcast throughout the world. It's very embarrassing. So maybe if you're lucky, if you stay to the end, we'll talk about that. So.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yes. What's up, Ian? How are you doing? Yeah. Wait, Ian, you're also from Michigan? I did not know you were also from Michigan. Nice. We'll have to chat more. That is a great question. You've also done a ton of characters over the years since your days at Valiant. What has been some of your favorite characters that you've worked on?
I think a lot of people will expect me to say Iron Man because I've been on it for so long, and that's kind of what I'm most known for is Iron Man. But I really hated drawing that. So I think Wolverine. Everyone's
Okay.
favorite is Wolverine. So I think that's it for me.
Wolverine, okay. But I also gotta say congrats though, because your Iron Man was recently just turned into a Marvel Legends figure. So congrats to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a toy out there now, so that's
You do.
yeah.
That's gotta be exciting when that happens.
Yeah, it took a quarter century, but yeah, I guess sooner or later they get around to making toys of everything. So, yeah, I'm very thrilled about that. For that means more to a lot of people than entire quarter century drawing comics, is that you actually have a toy that you can find in Walmart.
Which is also hilarious to me because I think the thing that you're most known for is something that people do not know that you're known for, and you are the creator of the Scream Squirrel Feeder helmet.
Oh yeah. It's strange like how many people have seen it, and then like sometimes people send it to me. It's like, you guys see this, and I was like, yeah, I actually made that. But yeah, and it's October now, so it's that time of year to bring out the Scream Mask Squirrel, squirrel feeder, which is, I think one of the things is it's very hard to describe what it is, but it's a squirrel feeder that he sticks his head into, and it's in the shape of the Scream movie mask.
Yeah.
And when he puts it on, it looks like he's wearing the mask. It's weird. It's kind of traveled around there. I'm surprised it made it as far as it did, but it went legitimately viral. So
it went viral because you have any idea how many people send that to me? Because I know I'm a huge horror fan. Like if you can't see, I've got horror stuff behind me. I get legit sent that to me probably weekly.
Wow.
That's Sean's video.
Yeah, I'm actually represented by an agency for that video, so they actually push it out there, and then they give me a check like every few months for
wow.
I don't know how they actually monetize it, but they pay me for licensing that video.
Who would have thought? Squirrel feeder.
Yeah, it's weird.
But you make some really cool crafty things as well, which I like. You do a lot of resin molds, and then I like what you did with your daughter. You did the bird window in your house, so you could watch like the baby birds grow up. That's awesome. I like that you do that. Yeah.
Yeah. In general, I think if you had to characterize me, I'm mostly like a maker. Like there wasn't really a term for it before, but then I think people know what a maker is now. So I'm just like one of those guys that just kind of makes things, and then there has to be like a technical component to it, like the resin toys and the renovation stuff. And then comics are very technical too. So my favorite thing to make is comics.
That's nice. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Got a lot of questions piling up. I'm trying to get to like some new people popping in here because we got a lot. There's a lot. Oh my gosh, dude, guys. It's been a couple of decades since you've seen Sean. Kev, where have you seen Sean at? Probably, I'm gonna guess San Diego Comic-Con or some of the other Comic-Cons over in your areas, where I'm gonna guess, because you also did San Diego Comic-Con. You just came back from Baltimore. Are you gonna be doing New York this year?
I will be there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Bernard and Jerry will be there. That's gonna be a riot when you guys get together. Because
did you ever make it out there?
I have not, but it's a lot of the guys in chat, they go to New York. I know CJ will be there, so yes. So hey baby, what's happening? I have not, but it's something that I would like to do. I've been to Baltimore a few times. Motor City is usually my main con, which I will be getting to myself. But yeah. Oh, wow. 1994 is when you saw Sean. Wow. Nice.
That's kind of when I started. So this must be like during the Iron Man era. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I left for a while to do advertising. So that probably explains why I kind of disappeared for a while.
Ah, he used to hang out in the Extreme Studios crew. Nice. Very cool guy.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he said he used to.
Oh, he's okay. I see.
Yeah. You probably run into each other. Yeah, that'd make sense. Wait, what do you see? Oh, nice. I do not see your Instagram page right now, but I see one that you have right now, Ian, and I like it. I like the droids that you have. Very cool. Oh, good question. And I starred your other ones, by the way, CJ. There are 9 starred at the moment, so we'll get back to those. But he wants to know, do you enjoy coloring?
Not really. I mean, I think I don't really know how to color that well. I mean, I do some watercolor stuff, but mainly I just kind of make things the color that they appear in real life. So there really isn't like a point of view with the coloring, but I think the watercolors have been kind of successful. And when you work professionally as a comic book artist, all that time they kind of want to pigeonhole you as a penciler. So I'm a penciler. I kind of break down the story from writing into images, and then once that's done, it goes off to an inker and a color. So they take care of that all. And all that time that you could be developing as an artist, you don't really have time to do because you're just constantly under the gun. So all this time goes by, and then I never really got out of drawing with a pencil, and then only added inks, like maybe 10 years ago, and then only added color maybe like a few years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, and then it's kind of very late in the game, but I don't enjoy it when I do it with wet medium because it's very nerve-wracking because you can mess it up.
Oh yeah. Plus, the drying period, it takes a while between.
Yeah, and then sometimes you don't really know what you got until it's dry. So.
Yeah. Also, CJ says he hates coloring with a passion. I can see that. CJ, I've got all 11 of your questions starred. Don't worry, I will be getting to them, especially the ones from Glenn. I will ask this one. Yeah, there's 11 in there. Yeah, I know. Hold on. I will ask this one from Glenn first because this is a good one. This is an artsy question. What got you started down the art road?
Well, I think when you're like, there are kids who just like drawing, and that was me. Like if you go into like a first grade class and you ask like who likes drawing, and then like every hand goes up, but then every year after that you ask, it's less and less people until finally when you get to like high school or late in high school, really it's only like a couple of guys or a couple of people who still like to draw, like to do art, and that was me. So I'm just the guy who just liked doing it all through. I'm not sure what it was. I don't think I'm particularly gifted at it, but I do it a lot, so you kind of get better as you do it.
Yeah. So what were some of the stuff that you kind of started drawing first? Like I don't know why, but I don't know why. When I was like in the 4th grade, I started drawing rats, cats, and birds. I don't know why. That's what I drew, and I just drew that, and then I went straight into portraits. What did you gravitate towards when you started drawing? I don't know why, but yeah, that's what I did.
I think I started drawing like spaceships, big spaceship battles. But the spaceships were like just geometric shapes. And then it was much later on I started drawing the people, and those are all like really bad. But I didn't really grow up reading comics, so I wasn't exposed to them. But I liked the superheroes. So the superheroes, you can see superheroes on TV, like on like the Super Friends on Saturday, and then on Elektra Company they have Spider-Man. And then the only comics exposure I had was my parents didn't allow comics in the house, which is why I never saw them. But then if she got the Washington Post, which came in the mail, and so that means every day you get a little bit of Spider-Man and the dailies, and then also on the weekends you get the big color version, and those are, I just ate that stuff up. And then when it came time to look for work to do, I kind of put the drawing and the love for superheroes together and started doing comics.
Yes. I also used to get the newspapers with the Spider-Mans, and I would cut out the Spider-Mans in the newspapers because that's what I was like. And then I remember like in the 90s and late 90s, they came out with like the reprints in the newspaper of like the really good key issues. And I would I read those like galore. Those were like my favorite things. Also, hello. Let's do this. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I know Let's Do This.
Yeah, Let's Do This. Let's Do This. Nice. Oh, yeah. Also, yes. I do like it when you post your watercolors. We talked about this a lot on your post, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy when you do watercolors because you do some good stuff with your waters. I like that. Yes. Keep up the watercolors. I like that.
Definitely. Yeah. People like color stuff. I mean, my Instagram is way too black and white. The color just really pops. So I got to do more of it. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, Cliff, what's happening? Good question. Was drawing Iron Man boring because it's always the same thing that you're drawing?
It was. I didn't like it because it's very difficult, and also, I don't know. Like a lot of people, don't mind drawing things other than people, but for me, drawing's the best thing to draw are people, like expressions and the human body. Pretty girls and all that stuff, and buff men. That's fun to draw. But if you're drawing Iron Man, it's all covered up in like man-made machine stuff. So it's like you're drawing a car over and over again. which can be fun. But then when the car is like the star of your story, and then um, I think it's very, very hard. So I think what's hard about it is his armor is very shiny. And a lot of people think that I would just draw the outline of his armor and then the colors will make the shine happen. Or like you just pick like a metal brush and paint it on. But that's not how it works. I mean, you really have to put in all the reflections, draw them in pencil and then ink them over. So every time Iron Man showed up on a page, it was like an hour just drawing that figure. And sometimes he shows up 4 or 5 times on one page, in the panels. So it would just take forever, and it wasn't the most fun thing to draw. And I'm just waiting for, Pepper Potts to show up again.
Which is interesting because you went from drawing Iron Man and getting bored drawing Iron Man to a whole full-on mech comic.
Yeah, it's
all
I think
technical pencil work.
it's very impressive to look at. It's just not that fun to draw. But there are people who like really like Transformers, and they just draw that stuff all day long. And maybe they just feel very thankful in the fact that they don't have to draw actual people, because people are extremely hard to do compared to the like robots. Hard in terms of like difficulty, but then the robots can just be tedious and sometimes boring. But the challenge is less because the human body is organic and it's very hard to draw.
Yeah. I think you did a great mix though in the different kind of mechs that you have in this book, because you kind of have like the older style mechs of like but you give them like your own twist, which I like in the book that you have for Evermind. I like that you did that. And I like that you have like the Bobo style mech, which is the gorilla one. But I like that you gave Jen, I'm gonna call her Jen, for the girl mech in the story. She's very curvaceous, and I love that you did that. So you kind of got several different styles of mechs in here, which is very neat. And I love that that's throughout the whole entire book, which is very, very cool. So you got that going on for this, which is very good job. Very sexy line work. Yeah. Also, we have way more people in chat coming in. Sup, Cliff. Also, Shutterduck, I'm glad that you stopped by. So if you don't know, this is my homie, and he's been hanging in the Bernard streams for a while. So you've probably seen him in the chat every now and then when you're in there. What's up,
does he go by Shutterduck though?
He does, yeah.
Okay.
If you're in yeah, it's Shutterduck on Twitch, I believe too. But yeah, he's the ducks over there as well. So yeah. We'll get to that one. Yeah. There's so many there's 15 questions. They're up in here. Yeah. There's so many. There's so many. Yeah, no, I told you, a hot seat. We'll get through some of these, we'll say hi, then we'll get back into your book, because dang guys, you're coming in hot right now. Jeez. Do you feel the need people what is this? Do you feel the need people need to pay their dues before getting respect from their peers? These are heavy hitting questions, dudes. What the hell?
I do. I mean, I hate to be kind of like, no one wants to have a gatekeeper. I think anyone who wants to draw comics should be able to do it. But at the same time, I think the doors been kind of like busted open and everyone's coming in, everyone's getting published. So there's a problem with like the signal to noise. There's a lot of stuff out there. And I think Mark Millar said that one of the best things that we could do to kind of save our industry, because I do think it needs saving, is probably just that, Marvel has to put out 20 books and just put out the best books and hire the best artists and writers until you get the level of quality. And then so everyone's just buying those books. And that should be good for the industry. I feel bad for it. It would take me out of the picture because independents don't fit in there because we're just more noise. So, I mean, I would have to go, and maybe they will have me on a spot on Iron Man if, if I was lucky. But if not, then I'd have to go sit and wait on the sidelines, which is a horrible thing to do. But I think one of the reasons why manga is doing so well is because we get a curated set from Japan of all their best stuff. And then when it comes for sale over here, it's like, here are 20 books that you can look at and pick your favorite. They don't send everything, because I think in general, most manga is pretty bad. Like the drawing and the stories are probably pretty bad, but we don't see that stuff. So, in the States here, we do publish quite a lot of bad stuff. And, that, which is, I think it's great because everyone should express themselves, but it does cause a problem where there's so much product out there that it does kind of harm things. So I have mixed feelings about it.
Yes. Yeah, because overseas, like, you don't see this, but there's so many online sites that are just inundated with the manga. There's multitude of titles out there that they start out online and then they get popular and they get printed like monthly, and then they get popular and they print it in the volume form. But most of the time we don't even get those here. We just get the most popular ones when they come here on the shelf. So most of the times you don't even see them unless you're actually on the websites reading them as they come out monthly or weekly or however they're released. But yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton from China and Korea as well, which I'm very into at the moment myself. Yeah, I read a lot of villainous. Gets hit by trucks on, she wakes up as a villainess in some dukedom. Yeah, it's a whole genre of manhwas at the moment.
Specific, okay.
It is. Yeah, that's the actual genre.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. But there he is. There's Ducky, and he is on the Twitch. Yes. Hi. Welcome. Very good question, because CJ will be at New York. So he wants to know, are you taking advanced orders for commissions prior to New York City?
We did. I think that list has since been closed because it's kind of so close to it now. So I still have to work off a list that I already took. But in general, I'll be doing more of those. I mean, I'm only going to be doing my Evermind comic and wrapping that up, and then also doing commissions. Doing the comic, the pay comes way later, if at all, because it's an independent comic. So I do a lot of commissions, but not at the moment. So
okay,
we'll get around to it eventually.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question. So when you do have commissions open, usually post that on Instagram saying, hey, it's open. You guys can put those in right now.
I wish I could say there was like a real method for it. But just at some random time, I was like, wow, I have, an entire week that's open. I'm going to go look in my DMs to see who wants a commission. And it's just someone who asked for the first time earlier that day. And they just get very lucky because, it's just a perfect fit. But there are people who've been waiting for like 4 years or something. And I really should get to them, but I just don't remember. I
Dang,
don't know.
Sean. Shame on you. No, I'm kidding.
I need a better system because it's not fair. Yeah, it's definitely not fair.
Yeah. Well, also Instagram is very weird about messaging because you can message someone right now and it won't show up for like 3 weeks from now. It's weird.
Yeah. So, all of mine are going to hidden. So I'm not sure what that is. But very strange.
I don't know. It's just been bugging out. Like it's just been very buggy the last few months. So just keep setting it. Maybe it'll just keep popping up. So if you do have a request, is Instagram the best way to get a hold of you if you do have a request for commissions?
Yeah, I think so. I wish I was on more platforms, but I'm not on Facebook or Twitter, and that hurts for this campaign because you're supposed to get the word out, and I'm just on Instagram, and they tell you on Kickstarter where all these leads are coming from. Like when someone finds you and backs it, like where they're from, a shockingly small amount of them comes from Instagram. So,
yeah, I'd say majority of them are Twitter. I'd see when I see the crowdfunding and the stuff, because I recently opened up my Twitter again just to do the promotions for this. And I'd say I've been networking more for the comic side stuff on there the last 2 months that I've had my Twitter. And the promotion from that is just insane. It's a very good platform. And by the way, I believe you do have a Twitter, or somebody is using your name on Twitter, because there is an account when I went to go link it and it linked you to your account.
That is me.
That is you. Aha.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but it is me.
All right. There's a couple people in here. Okay. Callie has a good question. He wants to know, can you give us a fond memory for working for Valiant?
Okay. Well, I was there with Bernard the whole time.
Yeah.
Also, I was there for a short time with Barry Windsor-Smith. I was there the whole time with Bob Layton. A lot of great people who kind of graduated from the Kubert School. And we're a tight-knit group because it's kind of rare to have like a studio, because usually this is all done from your home studio and you all work through the mail or FedEx. We actually worked in the studio. So, it was a very tight group, but strangely enough, like Bernard and I didn't really integrate deeply with the studio, because when you're in an office, like you can complain about the boss and complain about the company, how they don't pay you that much and stuff. But so when they're all griping about how little the pay is, I'm there saying, like, yeah, it's little. And then they're looking at me. It's like, you're not really one of the production guys or the colorist guys. You're like one of the artists. So Bernard and I were kind of segregated group, but we're still very good friends with them. But definitely the best time was actually when Barry Windsor-Smith will walk around and look over your shoulder and give you a little lesson on how to draw something better. That's probably the best thing about it.
That's awesome. Hold on. We got, all right. Okay. Can you guys slow down your questions for like 1 minute, CJ, so I can catch up with that chat? I got 27. I'm not even at the bottom of the page yet. Guys, it's crazy. Hold on a second. We got a lot of people popping the chat. We got Spooky. We got Naman. What's up, Naman? Cliff here has, he wanted to say, your Nova was excellent. He loved the series. It was quite a while ago, but he adored your Nova work. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Strange thing I remember about that. I was very highly motivated to do a good job, and then I was drawing it, and I was really into it, and it was going really well. And then my interest suddenly shift into renovating my kitchen. So it's really weird to tell your editors like, oh, I'm gonna have to miss the next 2 issues because I'm going to renovate my kitchen. And they looked at me as like, are you insane? But, this is after I've been drawing comics for so long, and it's like an endless wheel. So I took 2 months off and someone else filled in, and then I came back to it. But I'm surprised that they let me do that because I think it's a real slap in the face. I mean, it's a real opportunity to work for Marvel, and that should be your biggest priority. But
that's funny.
I'm glad people liked it though. It was a lot of fun.
CJ also says, well, fuck my life. The advanced list is closed. But if he brings you something simple and small, if he visits you at the con, would you draw it, let's say, yay big or yay big?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. What kind of throws a wrench into that, though, is that I don't have a table there. I'm not anywhere. So if you look at what I look like and you see this shirt, I'm walking around Artist Alley, and I know Bernard and Jerry and a bunch of the guys from the stream are hanging out in the D block. The D block is
that's perfect for you guys.
Yeah, and I'll be there a lot. If you grab me, I'll definitely do something for you.
Yeah, and I think Jerry and Bernard already posted their tables already, and they're like I think next to each other. So you'll probably be hanging there a lot too. So if you want that, I can link you to that table when we're done after the stream. But yeah, they're fairly next to each other, I think. So yeah, and they're good peeps too. I like Jerry's art also, and I'm sad that he's not doing his shirts anymore. That's sad.
Yeah, those are the best.
I love his shirt. I know. I have his Godzilla or Gojira shirt. It's the best. I wear that all the time. Okay, no more questions. You'll ask when you see it. Perfect, because I have 30 questions starred already, and the majority are from you, so you get the rest in person when you see him wearing his 247 shirt. Perfect. Also, Shutter wants to know, how fabulous did your kitchen end up?
Oh, I'm glad I did it. I mean, I don't know if you ever had a kitchen renovation done, but I was gonna say like I'm drawing comics now, so I'm not gonna do it. I told my wife I'm not gonna do the kitchen, so we're gonna have a contractor do it. And then they come in like I figure I'm gonna spend it's gonna be like 10 grand or something, but it's more like 50 grand. And I was like, there's just no way. So I just did it myself, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a fancy kitchen. We have like lots of pictures of it, and then I think it ended up in some obscure architecture magazine. So.
Dude, you're fascinating to me because you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do that, and then you just like renovate like your whole house all the time. Like you're just like, oh, I'm gonna work on that today, and like you just do something. Like it's been fascinating watching your feed because you'll make like tiny little resin things, and then like you'll just go around like, oh, I'm gonna cut a hole in my wall today and just do something different. That's fascinating for me. I'm like, this guy's awesome. I like this guy. It's great. It's been fun watching your feed, by the way. It's great.
It's just basically me trying to make my friends laugh.
Well, you succeeded, yes. And I know you make Bernard giggle, so. CJ says, he'll be that handsome fat dude that will be running around with blank sketch cards at New York Comic Con. So, bam, there you go.
Sketch cards.
Yes. He'll be wearing a hashtag look at me shirt. So that's how you know how to find him when you see him.
I'll keep that in mind.
I hope you guys hook up perfectly. And Callie says, yeah, I've done kitchen remodels and it's expensive. I would imagine so. Yes. Don't forget me. Yeah. Yes, they always do. Yeah. There's always some weird thing too that you need to forget. I always end up forgetting, by the way. All right. Oh my God. Oh, good question, Beefit. He wants to know, was Barry Windsor-Smith cool?
I don't know. Like, I've been telling this story over and over again on other interview channels, but when I first met him, like I kind of knew him through Weapon X, and I brought a portfolio to San Diego Comic-Con to try to get work. So I was hanging out with my first mentor, which was David Mazzucchelli. Every time I see him at a show, we always spend time together, and he's been really instrumental in getting me to be able to draw comics. So I was with him there, and then someone from Valiant came over. The publisher tried to get him to hire him to work for Valiant, but so David said that he's not doing superhero comics anymore. But he said, like, this guy is, and he pointed to me. So that guy briefly looked at my work. This is the publisher, Steve Masarski, and then he brought me over to the Valiant booth. And the person who was doing the portfolio reviews was Barry Windsor-Smith. So I sat down with him, and I couldn't believe it because, you know, I really idolized the guy. So then he started looking through my portfolio, and it turned really bad really fast.
Oh, no.
Because I think he was extremely rude. And then he was telling me, like, really criticizing the work. And I thought it was strange because I knew the work wasn't perfect, but it wasn't as bad as he was saying. But I just kind of took it because, you know, I want to be respectful. I really respect who he is. And I'm kind of taking a learning kind of approach to it where, you know, I can learn a lot from this. But then when the portfolio review was over, he said that we'd like to have you on board at Valiant. And, you know, those two didn't square. So what I found out he was doing is kind of testing your personality to see whether you're going to be one of those guys who are teachable or like one of those guys who are defensive and couldn't be taught. But he said I had the perfect attitude because I was never defensive and I was always respectful and always took a lot of criticism in stride and tried to take it in to get better. You know, so he was being kind of like pretending to be an asshole to see how I would react. But then, you know, so I sort of passed the test, and then so after that, he's a great guy. He's extremely nice. Very, you know, he's a perfect gentleman and always very giving. And if you're an artist like him, there's a certain respect that he gives you. And yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic. Learning from it. It's really the highlight of my career, and it was great getting to know him for that short amount of time because he was pretty much gone soon after that. But yeah, it was great. He's really nice.
Says ouch, then unouch. Yeah, that had. Oh man, yeah, when that came out, because you guys were you part of the Deathbeat tour, Burke, that Bernard was part of that whole thing? That must have been a wild time when they came out because you guys actually went on tour with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The groups of us went on tour. That was very surreal because it's not my personality. I think Bernard is like a rock star. He was like, this is appropriate. But for me, I was like, it seemed like a big deal was being made about us, and it was grueling because we would just drive in a tour bus until we hit a comic book store, and then we would get out and sign, and then I think we would do like 4 of those a day, and I think by the 4th one or the 3rd one,
oh wow,
you wouldn't think it would be exhausting, but you just want to get back on the bus or back to the hotel because it just went on like every day like that, and it was a grind, but it was a lot of fun.
I would say that would be a lot of hard work. That'd be long and exhausting for all day long because there's a lot of guys that were on that team. When you look at that tour, because you had Bernard, who looked just like a party animal, by the way. His his mullet and looked like he would have played basketball one time. Just mullet, full on, ready to go. Yeah, yeah, man. When you see that book, if you don't know what it is, there's the tour book for that Deathmate team. Look at that; those pictures are hilarious, by the way. When you go and see those profile pictures of that, it's great. Good times.
So we were on that tour with like Brett Booth, Greg Capullo, Jim Lee. You know, we would kind of meet up in certain places. That was the chance for me to meet those Image guys and get to see them for the first time, what they were like. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so this is funny. CJ says assholes build character, and then Nan says you must be building tons of characters. CJ, oh shit. Nice. Also, hello Cole, how are you? All right, we talked about for almost 40 minutes about some random stuff, and I have 29 questions queued in the chat, so I'm gonna leave that there for a hot minute. Let's pull up your Kickstarter, give you some rest, so you can relax for a hot minute. Let's pull up your Kickstarter. We can go over this because I thoroughly enjoyed reading this, by the way. It was great. And I've really enjoyed watching your progress stuff as you've been uploading everything, because I like to see your pencils in the final coloring process, because you do excellent mech work. And it's funny that you say that, because I like that you started with Iron Man, and you're like, oh, I don't like doing Iron Man because of the mech stuff, but you nail this. It's amazing how well you nail it. Also, what is up, me? And what's up, Ken? How you guys doing? Yeah, but no, you guys, you do fantastic mech work. So give yourself kudos for that.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that I hate doing it. I mean, I like, it's sort of like with the backgrounds that I do, like I draw a lot of buildings. It's not fun doing all that, figuring out the perspective, but the end result is very impressive, and I like the end result. But you really have to work to get there. So it's hard work drawing the mech and getting all the perspective right, and just making sure that the robots look the same from every angle. It's very tedious, but the end result, I like the end result though. It's impressive to me when I look at it. So
you should be impressed by it, because the sheer amount of, first of all, line work and circles that are in this is astounding. And just the level of, first of all, detail that is in each one of the mechs, plus the background work. There's a lot of action also that's happening in all the sequences, but not overpowering in each panel, which is nice. So you did a lot of awesome work in here. And we're going to get in that in a second. And Nam says, reminds you of Metalman. Yes, it's very liquidy too. The way that the light shines on the metal, and that's very sexy. And that's one of the things I adored in Wetworks, was the way that metal shine hit the metal skin. Oh, I love that. Also, hey Wong, what's happening?
Something.
Yeah, that's Wonger. What's up, Wonger? Hey. Yes. And Glenn says, oh, you missed a Barry Windsor-Smith story. Oh, yep, gonna have to watch on the replay. Sorry, Glenn. Or sorry, Wong. All right, let's watch your video here, because it's very cool. So I'm gonna unplug, so you're gonna hear. Hit that, pause that, go like that. So technical to do this. All right, let's watch this. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
When I used to close my eyes and dream of the future, I would envision a utopia, a world united by human innovation. But now, all I see is greed. I'm Frankenstein, and my monster is my technology, Neuralink, a highly complex system that allows our consciousness to be uploaded into any instrument we can imagine. I should have known those instruments would be used for destruction, with evil agencies using it for their quest to power. I, Lucas Zhang, must put an end to my creation, no matter the cost. As I always say, the future is in your hands.
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Wu from Into the Badlands, Westworld, and Disney's American-born Chinese. I am super excited to announce the official launch of the Evermind comic book Kickstarter campaign. You may have noticed in the exclusive comic preview that Lucas Zhang kind of looks like me. Well, that was no accident. Evermind creator Sean Chen based the character off my likeness, so it feels fitting to officially be on the team. Being a co-creator of an epic comic series has always been a goal of mine, and I cannot wait to go on this journey with you all. So what is Evermind about? Evermind is a science fiction graphic novel set in a dystopian near future that follows a famous scientist, Lucas Zhang, and his discovery of a revolutionary technology that changes the world called Neuralink. With this new ability to transfer human consciousness into advanced machines, Lucas unintentionally creates an arms race among several evil corporations. So as the Oppenheimer of his time, Lucas makes it his mission to ensure that his tech doesn't fall into the wrong hands, even if that means using it on himself. So I am honored and excited to be a part of Evermind. We have an amazing group of talented individuals who will bring this title to life, and We have big aspirations to bring this to television, film, animation, and even video games. The opportunities ahead are endless. I look forward to being a part of this community, and I thank you all for your support. And remember, the future is in your hands.
Ooh, awesome. Hold on, let me go back here for a second. Wow. Wow, I missed a lot of people chatting. Holy crap. No, that was a very good intro. Daniel did an excellent job talking in that.
Yeah, I'm glad he's talking, not me. But yeah, he's an actor, and he's he's really good looking. So
yes. See, yes. And we got Hey Sean. He says he loves your work.
cool.
Yes, looks amazing. Daniel is great. Yes. Oh, you already got a tingly feeling. Nice. I know. Amazing. Yeah, isn't it stunning? Wait till there's some panels in the down below. Wait till you see the some of the artwork that's down there. You're gonna like it even more, guys. Just telling you. All right, let's get back to the page. So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy this. So you guys are kicking ass on your Kickstarter. So you are almost at the $25,000 mark. So give yourself like a massive round of applause, because this thing is just kind of blowing up right now.
It's very scary because, I mean, if your first Kickstarter, you have no idea what to expect, so it could really bomb, and I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever happens. So I'm glad that we met our goal, and then actually doubled it at this point. So we still, I think the more attention there is to it, it really looks good to the if they wanted to shop around as a property. So we really want to get it as high as possible. So.
Also, hey Travis. No, you guys have been just downright kicking some ass doing the promotion team on this. You've done so many. Day one, when this launched, what did you do? Like 8 or 9 interviews? You did like a whole full-on just Kickstarter interview train going on. I know you did one with Bronze and Swaggle and
Yeah.
Dan, and you nailed it out of the park with all that stuff. Yeah.
It's all very new to me. When I was doing this business. When I was younger, I always thought like it's all about your art. Like the better you can draw, that's how far you go. You can be like Jim Lee if you can draw like Jim Lee. But then I realized like I also picked up the writing part of it, and that was quite a slog to learn to write. And then I've realized that it's not even really about those two. It's about like just marketing yourself as an artist, which is a third thing that none of those things have to do with each other. But it's weird like how many things you have to master. So we have someone just kind of pimping me out to all these different shows, and I'll just do them. They said do every one that comes by, so I will. And it's not natural for me, but it's something that you have to learn, because it's as important as all that drawing that I have to do. It's kind of strange that way.
So do you think this is gonna like kind of bust you out of your shell more, and you're gonna be maybe doing more appearances on cam now that you've been forced to do like 14,000 of these this
Probably.
month alone?
It's all good. I think just starting something is the hardest part. Like I think I need to draw on camera, as it's an important part of what an artist does, is show their process. And that's something that Bernard does it very easily. But Bernard actually, in the beginning, I don't think you were there from the very beginning. It was tough for him. Like he would often the drawings would fail because he can't talk and draw at the same time. But now it's very easy for him. So there's a learning curve. And those learning curves are not something that I feel like tackling sometimes.
Well, I also think it's because you have a really good team there. Like when Fletch joins, or you actually have like other people that will join you. Quartz on there when you're on there also. That kind of helps him when you're talking, because that kind of like relieve your anxiety as you're trying to talk to the chat, and it helps him like talk. And Jerry's really good for doing all that stuff. So you guys have a really good team while he's drawing and interacting with the chat and stuff. So he doesn't have to worry about that, because if you're trying to like just draw and then focus on that and then do it yourself and look at the chat, it's really hard to do like that, those like 3 things at the same time, like by yourself. But you got to go a whole good thing over there. So if you guys don't want what we're talking about, is almost every Tuesday on Twitch, but you also opened it up to YouTube. So you dual stream to YouTube, but the main chat is over on Twitch. And you stream with Bernard Chang, Jerry Ma, and a couple other people on the panel. And you can watch Bernard Chang stream art live. Yeah, and I did link in the post I did link the Twitch chat on there so that you guys can go and check him out and go hop in the Twitch chat sometimes and say hey and all that stuff.
He'll be here next week, right?
No, he'll be here on Friday. Yeah, is that next week? Is it today? I don't even know. I lost track of all my days, but yeah, on the 6th, this Friday, he will be here. So yes, come say hey when he's here. But also, you do a monthly/weekly art challenge that you guys kind of all started and work on. It's called Battle of the Sketches. And you have a weekly/monthly theme for characters. And you guys kind of post them all by Wednesday and then you share them all. And it's all cool, which is awesome, by the way. I love that you guys do that. And I love that they share everyone's work that's in there. And you guys, it's fun to see that because the people that have been starting that for like the last couple of years have really improved their skills. And it is fun to see that. And it's fun to see new artists that start participating in that. And I like Court has finally started drawing and showing her stuff. One of these days I will not be chicken and show my art.
Yeah,
I did do a few, but I never posted them.
I've been in the water's good. So it's a very nice community. And yeah, you do get really good. Have you seen like Golf Boy Sunday? Like he's been kind of doing it religiously for many years and he's gotten so good at it. I think one of the reasons why comic book artists are a lot better than just people who are kind of a hobbyist is because we have to draw all the time. So having an assignment or a deadline really does force you to draw. And I think this is one of those things. It's almost like a job, every week. So
yeah. So that's usually what Bernard does when he does his streams on Tuesday. He'll usually do the Battle of the Sketch drawing, which a lot of times he'll put up for either sometimes he'll auction it off if people want to claim it, or a lot of times he'll just give it away to people in chat. And I've actually won a Nightwing over there, which is really good. But yeah, you can watch him draw those on there. But yeah, no, Simple Man has really improved his art over the last few years. He's been popping out so much work. I love that Martin has joined now, and the work that he's been busting out every Wednesday is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's professional level stuff. Yeah, it's
amazing. Did you see that he released an art book now? It's on Amazon, Martin.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, this is great. I love that these guys are branching out and doing things now, and it's absolutely fabulous that that's happening. And Court, she's just killing it with her stuff. And Nam says he really enjoyed your interview with David Finch the other day. Yes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was weird from someone who doesn't draw ever on stream because it's very tough to draw and talk. And then going from that to drawing right next to, I mean, his drawing was forming right next to mine. And then, I mean, it's Dave Finch too. He's like, one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
And then people are constantly looking back and forth, like, who's better? Who's better? It's like that kind of pressure is just, and so I kind of cheated a little bit. I did the figure on his stream and then I did the backgrounds afterwards. So,
that's okay. That's already nerve-wracking enough as it is, just being on his stream alone. So yeah, no, kudos to you for even going on there. So yeah, they turned out awesome. Yes. Also, what's up, X? Hey, how are you doing? All right, let's get back to your Kickstarter page one more time. So one more time. You are crushing it. You have 217 backers and you have 17 more days to go. I think you're going to hit 40K. I really do. I think you're going to get up there. You're going to get close to that. You guys are still crushing it. You're out there.
That would be great. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Isn't it like at one point on Kickstarter, they can kind of track what's going to happen based off of your first day, and they'll tell you where you're going to end up, and they'll say like you're not likely to fund. And like I'm not sure if they still do that, but you've probably seen a lot of these Kickstarters, you've done some, whatever, that you kind of know what's going to happen, but it just seems like it's a big distance between here and 40K, but I'm glad you think we'll get there.
Oh, so I'm a super backer on Kickstarter, and I've done a lot of these and I've backed a lot of them. I'd say the ones that don't really go anywhere, they don't even promote it.
Okay.
They just kind of put it on there. Just they think that people are just going to find it and back it, and then they think that's going to happen, and then doesn't, and then they get all upset that they didn't hit their funding goal. I'm like, well, you kind of need to promote your stuff and tell people that you have a Kickstarter kind of thing.
It's a lot of work. I'm finding it's like a full-time job.
Yeah. So the other thing is a lot of people, when they do their Kickstarters, don't realize that it is a full-time job once you get it active, that you need to have like 99% of your book plus a printer selected before you get to the Kickstarter phase, because you're going to be pimping this thing out galore and not have time to get all the rest of the phases done, so that you can get that pimped out and out so that the people that back your stuff can get the stuff. I don't think people realize that when they just want to get it on there. But yeah, no, that's a whole full-time process. Yeah. Yes, I have a super backer and the pimp hand is strong. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think people realize that. But I'd say that's the one thing that kind of frustrates me with a few people that put stuff on there, because I think they could be way far more successful with their Kickstarters if they just do more promotions or any promotions whatsoever. And it's like, I don't know, like, why would you put it on there if you don't want to do the promotion stuff? You know what I mean? Like, it's not on there. You put all the time, you put all this time, you put it on there. Like, just go promote the thing. Hell, but yeah, I'd say yes. But yeah, so you have this up here just with 247, which is your publishing company that you have selected, and they do a great job. Choi has been kicking some ass promoting your stuff. Just saying. I see him out everywhere. I see him commenting on like all those comments. He's like, "Oh, you're awesome." He's out there just hustling. And you are doing, you and I love the footage that you and Court did when you were at San Diego. She was out there kicking ass in her Kill Bill outfit. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a great team around me. Yeah, Carl Choi, the publisher, has been great. He's been there from the beginning. He's the publisher, so he's kind of like at the very inception of the project. He came up with the idea to actually do a book together. Yeah, then he has to wear different hats from running the company. Now he's in full marketing mode and promotion mode. And have a great street team. It's Courtney was there for. Really doing a great job and getting the word out. So everyone's doing a great job, and I'm just very fortunate to have this team that's really helping bring this together. So
yeah, and it's very fun to see all the Twitch people that have been in the stream all these years really being gung ho and supporting you guys, and that's been, I think, the most
yeah.
I
get to see the people who back, because you can kind of see them. I recognize. I don't know exactly. I know them by screen name, but I think I know this guy. And there's one guy who backed from Australia. I think I know who that is.
Oh, interesting. I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, I mean, really, the biggest supporters have been the Twitch people. So
it's so funny how they are so welcoming when you go in that chat. And I'd say I talked to majority of them over the years offline, like in random other places. Like, even if we see each other like in different streams, we'll always just sit there and talk. I think I've even ran into a few of them now in person at cons, and I hope we run into even more, because it's literally been like a little family, and it's awesome. And I love hanging there every week or whenever you actually stream.
They're all very nice, and they're all very, very different too, because they're Twitch goes around the world. So, and then when San Diego comes around, people come from around the world to go to San Diego Comic-Con, and I meet these people. All very different, all very nice, and all very supportive.
Yeah, they're really good people. All right, let's get back here. All right, so your stretch goals, which you have been just crushing. So you had a stretch goal at 10K. You unlocked an exclusive print run. So you got that. You nailed that, by the way. You already hit your goal in 2 hours and 22 minutes of being released on Kickstarter, which is dope. Then you had another. Ooh, this is cool. So your 20K was released. You unlocked a CGC signature series and character turnaround print bonus for the first 200 backers. Nice. That's very cool.
Yeah, I wish I knew a little bit more about these, because they come from the publisher. And so we kind of laid out these plans. I think he's revising a lot of these on Monday.
Okay.
because I think they're a little bit ambitious on some of those. The stretches are like a real stretch. I mean, you need to be like Mr. Fantastic to stretch all the way out to there. But
all right, so your next one would be at 35. All right, so that was at another almost 10K. So after this, it would be, your backers would be an art director for Evermind 4 cover. Ooh,
yeah,
okay, all right, nice.
Yeah, and then these, I mean, they're kind of very aspirational.
Yeah. 60. Okay, so then if you did hit 60K, they would be voting for round 2 for art direction continues for art Evermind issue 5. Okay.
Yeah. I think these will probably be revised downward on Monday. I think we kind of made these without knowing exactly how far we can get. But yeah, that's some of those numbers are kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did hit. Well, you're almost at, what is it? 20. You're at 20, like about 25 right now. So not too bad. Like you hit this. So like you're getting up there. You're doing pretty well. But yeah, if you revise it, I think I still think you're gonna get up there into the, way up there. But look at your art. Art is gorgeous. So look at this. Look at your pencils, your line works, and the swirly woo hair. It's everything I love in art. Also, I missed a bunch of stuff. Well, hold on a second. Your bra is very supportive. Well, I'm glad your bra is supportive, Glenn. I would hope so.
Bra meaning brothers, right?
No, I think he meant actual bra. But hey, journos, what's happening? Hey, Phil, what's up? I think my chat froze for a little bit, but yes, there's the link to the Kickstarter if you guys want to check that out. Good question, Glenn. Glenn Wong? Do you mean what's happening right here on this panel? Because this would be Genesis and the Bobo, which is part of the series that we're talking about right here. And also, I like that you guys changed the title of the book as well, even though Genesis is the name of the character, but I like that you changed it to Evermind.
Yeah, that's kind of a strange story because I think Genesis is a fairly generic term that it's hard to trademark because a lot of projects are called Genesis. A lot of things are called Genesis. And we gave it that name because in the early days, we didn't really know what the story was about. So we gave it a very generic name. But now the story is very well solidified. And we have like a name that's more specific. Like, so if you imagine like science fiction stories like Blade Runner or Minority Report, those have very unique names. And that's because they were probably named after the story was done rather than otherwise it would just be called like, Robot Space Battle. It's very
Space
generic.
Battle? Yeah. Oh, that's going to be taken next. Someone just stole that now because they heard Robot Space Battle. Yeah. But no, your art is so lovely. I adore your pencils. And I like that you're doing the artist edition in here. I think you call it artist edition. We'll get into that into your tiers. But I love seeing your pencils. I've told you that a billion times already. But yeah, you know this already.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tiers because I like pen and ink. And I do a lot of like hatching and cross hatching. So I think you can get like a fully realized piece of artwork in the black and white stage. I think a lot of people don't get into black and white comics, so it does have to be colored. And then my friend Tom Chu colored it, who's really talented, so he brings it up another level. But I think one of the best things about the artist edition is because there's a lot of like word balloons. Like I mean, you read it. There's some of those word balloons are because it's sci-fi. There's some exposition you have to go through. The artist edition kind of takes all that away, so you can see all the backgrounds. I put a lot of energy into the backgrounds, and you don't get to see it a lot when it gets covered up. So,
yeah. Also, hello, Jeremy. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, Jeremy.
Are you perhaps maybe from a Twitch?
Jeremy Joe.
Yeah. Oh, is that who that might be? Possibly.
I don't know. Could be.
Possibly. Could be. Also, good art. Also, so this is from one of your original sketches from back in 2002 that inspired Evermind. Nice.
Yeah. So the story behind this is like when I was drawing for Marvel and DC, I was part of a group called The Boulevard. Bernard was in it, and Tommy Lee Edwards. So we were just like a studio. We were going to put out a sketchbook because sketchbooks were popular back then. But I really couldn't put that much of my Marvel and DC stuff in there because those characters are kind of owned and copyrighted. So we had to come up with a lot of other stuff. So I drew this before as a portfolio piece that has like a robot girl and robot gorilla. And for some reason, this piece, probably more than anything I've drawn, seems to get a lot of attention. that's outside of Marvel and DC, people look at it and then they kind of see like a story behind it or something. So in San Diego, someone was flipping through the sketchbook, and then he asked me like, if there's more, is there a comic attached to this, or is there more I can buy of this? And I said, no, this is just a drawing. It's like a portfolio piece. And then he kind of got like a little bit perturbed, like he just wouldn't take that as an answer. He's like, there's got to be more. Like at least you want to know the story behind it. And I would say that there's no story. It's just a drawing. So then he kind of just thanked me and then walked away. So the person who was tabling next to me said that was like a Hollywood guy, and he's looking for properties to kind of exploit, to make movies and TV out of, because Marvel and DC are all kind of spoken for. So they're looking for anything else, and that looked like it had potential to him. And the disappointment was that there's nothing he can do with just the picture. They couldn't really buy it as a property. So I didn't know that at the time. So I kind of put this image on my Instagram and kind of told that little anecdote. So my publisher, Carl Choi, saw it and said like, well, this, I can see why there was interest in this. We should make a comic out of this. Or so that pretty much started the whole process to kind of build the story out of this.
I think you guys did a great job of doing the comic first, because as Daniel said in that opening up there in that trailer, it can branch out into different things. Like Nama saying here, it would make a very cool game title, movie, or any other thing at all, because it does have elements of that in the storyline. So it can branch out into that stuff. And as Daniel says in the trailer, he does see that happening in the future. So I think that can happen. Yes.
Yeah. I think the main reason behind that is because when I'm writing comics, I don't really learn from reading other comics. So I would consume any type of like writing tutorial or masterclass when it comes to comics. But pretty soon you can kind of read all and listen to all of those, because there's not that much. So then I would turn to YouTube for like another 1,000 hours worth of writing tutorial stuff. And primarily it was from screenplays and books, because there's so much material on writing in those two areas. So ironically, like when this was done, people said like, well, this reads like a movie or a screenplay. And then my publisher gave it to a book reviewer, which I would never have thought it was a good idea, because you don't give a comic book to a book reviewer. It's a different medium. But this person really liked it, and she asked me like if I had plans to write a book, because the story kind of unfolds like a novel, like a YA novel in some respects. And so I thought that was cool. But the reason why it's different than most comics is because most of it is written like a screenplay. So it's a very tight script.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, in 6 issues the story's done, so there's no wasting time. And there's no self inserts or anything. It's just it's told like it's as if it were like a Pixar movie. It had to be very scripted and very tight, and revised and endlessly revised over and over again until it's just the best concentrated story.
Yeah, and that could be where Daniel stepped in too, because he's very familiar with the scripts of the screenplay writing, where he could have kind of edited and said, hey, let's just do this type of thing while you're in your writing, which I actually like about the writing, because it flowed a lot very nicely in the story. For being something that's very technical and very sciencey, it has those terminologies in there, but it's not overpowering when you read it, so that you're not lost as you're reading like the words and things in there. Because I have that issue with a couple other books, and even some of the Star Wars novels that you read. It's so like technical, and it doesn't even make you want to read what's on there. And you're like, oh, let's just skip around it. But no, everything in here was so well written, and it just made you part of the story. So it made you feel like you were in there. So it all just like kind of mushed everything together and made you like feel like you were in there. You could understand the science level and all that stuff. So kudos for everybody that did that.
Yeah, I think with science fiction, the challenge there is, especially with a new science fiction thing, for the first time when you're reading a story where there is no prequel or anything, you kind of have to explain the world and explain the technology. And that's exposition, and that's really deadly stuff. I mean, exposition will definitely kill your story. So if a writer really has their chops, you can turn the exposition into the best parts of the story. I mean, you probably read there's like one portion that has to explain this thing. There's a gene that a lot of primates carry. It's called the warrior gene. Has a very technical term. So I had to create a scene that kind of explains what that is. So there is, like that scene with a little girl and that little robot monkey. That's all exposition, but for some people, that was the most memorable part of the 3 issues. So when you're reading this, you'll be very entertained. And some of those scenes are like really jaw-dropping. Some are really entertaining and engaging. And what they don't really realize is that's all exposition in disguise. So you really can take like the tedious, worst parts of writing and make it into your best scenes if you craft it properly. It's sort of like the idea of the sugar-coated pill. Like the pill is the exposition that you need to understand the story, but you can sugarcoat it so that people eagerly devour it.
Yeah. So I would say issue 1, there was a scene which made me laugh the hardest out of the whole issue, and which could have been, depending on who wrote it or who drew it, could have been very poorly executed, and that was the daddy scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very controversial.
But, very controversial, yes. But you made it work, and you made it work in a way that was kind of, it made you giggle.
Right.
So, and you're like, oh no.
So that scene was entirely to show how the technology works, because there is a little bit of a process going on, like kind of like an avatar when you get into that that control pod and you wake up and you become one of the Naveen somewhere. It's very hard to explain. So I had to explain that with a scene, and I came up with the scene. And then when I was done, I was like, wow, people are going to really like this exposition package here. It really does push the boundaries a lot. And we really did have to pull back. I mean, we had to redo the artwork a couple of times to take it right up to the point where it could get us banned, but then take a step back so that, you never really see anything, but it's salacious and it's really crazy, but it's very memorable, and it does the job of getting the exposition across, and it'll keep you turning the pages. So
oh yeah, I read through all 3 issues, because right now you have 3 done. You're going through 4, 5, and 6 is what's happening, and this is kind of like a combined issue, or is there 3 separate issues?
If it were like a comic, there's like the 3 floppies that make up this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and also that was Jeremy Joe earlier. So yes,
okay.
And where'd it go? Cliff said something earlier, and I wanted to highlight. Yes, Tom Chu, also fabulous. You're sold. Yes, yes, Cliff, way to go. Yeah. I like that you know these people, and I like that you're in here. So thanks for hanging, Cliff. Yes.
Yeah, Tom Chu's a brilliant colorist. He's fantastic.
Yes, he does a very, very great job. And I like the colors that you guys use. And I like that it enhances your line work. And I love that the delicate, where everything like comes apart is so delicate, but it enhances the features of the mechs on here. And like I was saying earlier, like you have so many different styles of mechs in here. Like you have like the old school, like 70s and 80s kind of robot mechs. And then you also have like some kind of like newer styles. And then you have like the animalistic mechs, which are neat. Which I like a lot, by the way. And here's Daniel. Hello, Daniel. That's all the works that he's done. All of which are awesome stuff. Go watch all that stuff if you have not. Look, there's your lovely self. Hi. Hello, Sean. There's all your works, plus more that you've worked on, by the way. Good stuff. Go read all of that stuff if you have not seen that or read that. Go for it. But here we go. So this is your cover 1 issue. And I like that these are wraparound covers, because this shows... if you guys don't know, would you like to give a little synopsis of what the actual story is about? For those guys that have been in here for over an hour.
It's really kind of difficult. I mean, you read it, right? There's a lot in there.
I have read it, yeah.
It's 3 issues, but it's highly compressed so that you only get the best. It's not a boring read, because it really is distilled down.
Not boring
to
whatsoever.
The shortest amount possible. But yeah, it's basically the scientist named Lucas Zhang, who is really highly motivated to succeed. And he really does push the boundaries as much as possible. And he has this daughter that is kind of estranged from. So weird thing is, like, he's using his technology in very ethically questionable ways. And his daughter just so happens to be, since science is kind of like the family business, she's like an activist. And the cause of choice is basically the ethical use of science. So they're basically at complete odds, and it's really sad because I think they used to have a good relationship, but there's this gulf between them of ideologies that they just cannot cross. So the question is, whether they're ever going to have their relationship repaired again. So he creates this technology where you can kind of like an avatar, you can inhabit a robot. Like your mind would just go into it, and then you can kind of pilot the robot for a while, and then when you're done, you kind of get back into your human body. So he puts that technology to use, in the military and in this theme park as a way to generate money. Because as soon as he gets that going, he has this other bigger idea, which is like if you transfer your consciousness into a robot, not just for a short term, but permanently, so that if your body were either sick or dying of old age, you can use like a robot as a life raft and just continue living, because it's a mechanical body, you'll live forever. So what he's basically doing there is on the precipice of coming up with the first real means of immortality. So it has a lot of big ideas. There's a lot of big ideas in the story, and there's a lot of ethical questions. So the theme is like a big philosophical question about the role of science in society, and whether it's how you prioritize your family, or is it okay to achieve greatness at any cost, or should you really live an ordinary life and be like a family man? So that's the main theme, the main struggles there.
Yes, and which is really neat, the dynamic that you have from like issue 1 to issue 3, because there's a lot going on in here. There's a ton of action. So the dynamic of the action that you have in here is really interesting. So like what Nam mentioned earlier about how the game how a game would work in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements to it. So if you look at the cover here, the one half on the right here is the top level of the amusement park. So let's say it's like a Disneyland type one. So this is for like the kids. So if you go in here, all like the robots are used for like not the robots, the mechs, if you will, are used for like a good like Disneyland type park. And on the the left side, it's all the dark underground and the underworld.
Yeah, so like he partners with them, the Disney of the future, and that person really wants the technology for immortality. So it costs a lot of money to develop it. So he's using every single means possible to earn money. So I think he realizes that his theme park is really just for kids, mostly for girls. Like Disney, because of the princesses, and Disney's for kids primarily, and then particularly for girls because of the princesses. So he thinks in order to get more money, he would use the subterranean levels of Disney underneath to open up something for the adults. So that downstairs is pure sin. It's like Las Vegas, and the real ethical breach there is that they're using the same animatronics above as down below. So during the day, there's the robots become the gorilla mascots and the princesses, and they do a full term up there, and then they go down below, and then the princess dress comes off, and they become strippers and and hostesses, and then the gorilla become like these mech battles. So they have these mech battles down below. So it's pure like man cave, bad behavior stuff,
anarchy, all kinds of debauchery is happening down there.
And the problem is when they can't keep the two separate all the time. So there's definitely like real ethical breaches in technology going on, and that's driving his daughter crazy because she's completely against that. And so the story is from there. It's underway and it goes into crazy places.
It sure does. But here, look, like we were talking about earlier about the coloring, but just look at the color here. It's just fantastic. You could see where like this is the underworld, so you could see here the entrance to all the debauchery and what's happening, what's going on here. Ladies, you got gambling, you got all kinds of fun stuff happening down here. Yes, but look at the colors. It's just fantastic. And then here's a bit of the mech. Like I was saying before, this is kind of like reminiscent of like late 70s, early 80s, kind of 90s-ish kind of, but your own twist on it, which I like a lot. And then you can see like the people that are in here, which are running that, which is interesting. I like how you added that in here, and I like how you kind of mentioned it's like what was the term? The feels like Westworld.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot like Westworld, except these robots are not sentient robots. They're all piloted by real people. So it's just basically mechanical bodies moving around, but they're piloted by people kind of off-site. So yeah, like you see, like this one, those robots they go into the battlefield, and those soldiers are really safe at home. They're in their home bases, so they can never get hurt. So they can go into the field of battle and do a lot of damage, and then these people will never be hurt because they're being controlled from a remote location.
Yeah. So if you see here, he's got a number right there, and it matches the one on his like helmet visor thing right here. So he's controlling this mech there.
Yeah, it's
very neat.
Really requires you to really be good with your storytelling, because this stuff can get confusing really fast. So you kind of have to draw in a way that really can explain things well.
Debauchery is your middle name. I know it is, Joe. So he says Avatar meets Westworld.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah. Plus some other stuff too. Because I like that like these guys here. I like they added the gaming element in there. I'm not gonna give too much away from them. But that was
cool.
Neat. That was
I think one thing you'll notice if you read the story, that there's like maybe like a few, like maybe 4 or 5 really novel, interesting ideas, like creative ideas that we don't really see too much these days, like in comics or in movies. So much of the stories you see these days are kind of like live action remakes, or they kind of build off of other things that have been successful. So there's a sameness to a lot of stories. So when you read this, it's something new, and you're like, wow, that's a neat idea. But these soldiers are taken from, like Bobo World, which is like the Disney of the future. They have a gaming division, and a lot of first-person shooters are really good at that. So they become like soldiers of the future, where they actually are in the battlefield now, actually killing people. But then they found out that it's very hard to get gamer boys to kill people. So they come up with ways of manipulating them so that they to get that kill rate higher. And it's just more evil stuff that's going on with technology.
Yeah. And Shudder, you nailed it. You just feature of COD players. You nailed it. Yeah. So I like in the book, like they actually reference the pay to play players in games, which is hilarious to me. Definitely cool art. Yes, it's very cool artwork. Let's get more into that right here, because this was one of my favorite pieces that you posted over the last couple weeks that you showed here. I love the pencils of this that you posted, because if you look at here, you can see the details gloriously, but then every one of these characters has like slightly different mechanisms to them, but they also very, very sexy bots. What you calling them, mechs, bots? What are you referring to them as? Just mechs?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels dumb to call them robots. It sounds like a 12-year-old's making up the story, because I think they had the same problem with Blade Runner, is that they couldn't call them robots because it just puts you into a mindset of really B-grade trash. So they came up with the name Replicant. We never really came up with a name, so I don't even call them mechs, androids, robots. It's kind of I don't know.
It'll probably come up in 4 because of the way like the 3 ends. So maybe that'll happen in 4, 5, and 6. You come up with some from them. Yeah. But no, it's fantastic, dude. If you guys like sexy, sleek artwork, this is where you need to look at. Also, what's up, Mike? But yeah, check this out. But no, you do really good, sexy mechy bots work.
There's an artist I think most people are familiar with, named Hajime Sorayama. He kind of pioneered the sexy robot thing, or at least popularized it. So this is, they put on these latex skins and become princesses during the day, and then at night they become strippers. So
so the Upworld is called Bobo World. Yes. So, but yeah, like it's very reminiscent of like Disney and all that stuff. And then down here, hello. There they are, minus their skin in their full-on glorious, sexy nature. And there's the daughter. That's Genesis, and there's Luke. But yeah, this is what they look like in the underworld, which is lovely. And then here we go. This is issue 3 cover. I really like the colors that you picked as well, so it really works. Looks great, by the way. Yeah, you guys did great. Very fantastic. But look at all that's what I'm just saying. Several different types of the mech styles. Like you got Guyverish, you got like old school style, you got, you know what I mean? It works. You got all kinds of cool shit.
A lot of inspirations in this.
Yeah, see, he knows. Soriyama is legendary. And we got a hubba hubba. Yes, Jeremy, hubba hubba. We need a hubba hubba.
Our stream people.
Yeah, the stream peeps are, yes. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, if I had that open, I could have been posting his birds all day long with the hubba hubba. But yeah, check this out. He's getting smacked over here. Look at the action. The action in this is just insane. And how long does it take you to do one page? Like just an insane amount of line work alone. Like how long does it take you to do a page? Like one page?
Yeah, well, the dreaded robot pages take a while. Sometimes like a few days for a page like this. But then when it's just usually just all human beings, those I can kind of do in a day. But yeah, these just take forever. And I just, it was very frustrating. And then I just realized, well, it's going to take how long it takes. So the hardest part is kind of coming up with the design in your head and just rotating it around. It's something that people just do by with 3D software now. But when you draw comics, you kind of have to just imagine what the different sides look, and then make sure it kind of still gels with the other. You know, when they appeared a few pages earlier, you kind of have to keep everything consistent, and it's just tedious. But you know, if it weren't for the fact that the end product impresses people because it's all like future robot stuff, it'd be like I wouldn't choose to draw this stuff, but the end result is very impressive because it's you know it's just a subject matter is that people like, you know.
Oh, it is super impressive when you see literally how much action, when you see the sequences, even with the humans in each panel, of how much action just those shots have for each page. And then when you get to the scenes with like all the mechs in the bots, is like how much like behind the scenes work that's in there. It's super impressive. So no, I was like blown away just looking at each one of these panels. I was like, dang, this is insane. So
Yeah.
okay.
Changes.
Yeah.
You get like a lot of story just in the 3 issues. It's hard to believe it's only 3 issues, but then there's a lot of running around and there's a lot of heavy themes going on, and the story is primarily character driven. So usually when you have a character driven story, there's not a lot of running around, not a lot of action, but you know, it still took like a year to put all this together. So it felt like I was doing like 12 issues worth of work. But then when I look back at it, it's like, wow, all this is really just in 3 issues. And that really comes from using every single writing trick in the book to compress time, you know, to get in the scenes as late as possible and leave as early as possible. And just finding ways to kind of like make things all happen in one scene, so that there's lots of layers to the story, so that you don't have to come up with a scene for each thing. You kind of compress them all into one scene. It got compressed to the point where I think I compressed it too much, and then the story the pacing was a little bit too fast. So one of the things that I did with this story that most people don't do with their comics is we had beta readers. Like a couple dozen people read this, and then they gave me their feedback, and I asked them very pointed questions about their understanding of the story. And based on that, we actually went back and started inserting more panels and more pages earlier on, just so that it reads more clearly. Yeah, a lot of TLC in this book. So.
Yes, Toby, if you're not familiar, this is Sean Chen. He's actually been in the business since the days of Valiant days. Yeah, he's been around a day or two.
Practically 3 decades ago.
3 decades ago. Wow. That's shocking. That's shocking that the 90s were that long ago. And you're like, oh yeah, that was like 5 years ago. He's like, yeah, when did that happen? And then you're like, oh dang. Wow. I
feel
old.
that, yeah. I feel that.
You're like, crap. Yeah. But yes, welcome, Toby. Welcome to the chat. But yes, no, this is, I actually have fun doing all of these and meeting everybody and talking to them. But I'm glad that we finally got to sit down and actually talk and meet.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we've actually.
Yeah, and I wish you luck with Bernard's.
Oh, that's good. Don't
That's
tell him.
crazy.
But I actually have a request from Shutterdock to do a drawing, and I have a feeling he's gonna say yes for this. Yeah, I'll probably tell him later today, but no, it'll go great. It's up his alley. Yeah, yeah. No.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it'll be fantastic, and you can also draw along if you will. But I'll let him know in advance because it's hilarious. By the way, I also will be drawing along to it because I've been inspired by this. 1996 was yesterday. This is facts, Bleak.
Yeah,
total facts. Yeah, I don't know where it went, but yeah, it definitely was yesterday.
Yeah, I feel that exactly. I mean, it's shocking. Like you wake up and it's just really old. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. It was requested by Ducky himself. Yeah. So yes. Yes. Our avian friend here. Okay. Oh, look at his little suit. It's adorable. Nice. All right. So these are your tiers here. You actually sold out of some of the tiers already, which is neat. So that's very cool. So you got a thank you tier just for the hell of it. So $2. Just want to say thank you. Go for it. $2. Then if you want a 1 through 3, just digital tier, you get $18. We get all 3 issues right there. Boom shakalaka. There you go. And then if you want the print tier, so it's shipping to anywhere in the world. Let me just click it real quick. So that's for $35.
That's
anywhere
a great
in the
tier.
world. Yeah.
This one right here, you get the full print run and then also the digital copy. So it's 1 copy in print, one to put on your shelf and 1 to read on your computer for $35. I think that's probably the one that people select the most.
Yep, that is good. The only thing I don't know is shipping because it's not calculating right now, but it will ship anywhere, but I don't know what it is. So when you get your survey backer rewards, just remember that it will add it on either at the time of checkout right now or at the time of the survey. So just double check that when you check out. So just make sure that you're aware of that. Or sometimes they won't charge you shipping at all, but also just be aware of that when you go in, when you do your Kickstarter thing. So that's for the people that back. But yeah, so $35, that's not bad at all. So you get all 3 issues. Also, and it also includes the PDF. So perfect. That's great. This one here, I love this. This is great. So for $60, you're going to get the artist editions. So these are regular comic book size, but you're just getting the black and white editions, which that's obviously the tier that I want to go with because I, for one, am a sucker for black and white editions. And that's usually what I back anytime there's a Kickstarter because I'm a sucker for line work.
Right. So all the word balloons are removed, and then you get the PDF also, so you can compare it against and actually read the story online. But then all the black and white stuff, so you can see a lot of it gets covered up with the word balloon. So this is really your only way you can see all the backgrounds that I drew there and in their full glory.
Nice. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's probably what I'll be getting as well because that's the one that I would want. So wait, unless you get this one, which is $85. So you get the artist editions plus you get a copy of the actual physical 1 through 3 tiers. So you're gonna get 6 copies, 1 through 3 of the black and white artists with no word balloons, and then with the word balloons, full on trades and everything. Nice. $85. Yeah. Yes. Oh wait. What am I missing? Draw sex mechs. Already in there. You back it. You're going to see some. Just saying. Just, hey.
You're going to see a very salacious scene that's going to make your jaw drop and then probably going to get canceled for it. But
yeah, that'd be, issue 1. I'm going to say right now was going to hook you in the moment you start reading it. Yeah. Yes. Very much so.
Heidi McDonald, like from the Beat. So she had to read an issue just as due diligence as being a media person. So she usually just reads the first issue just to get the tone and the feel of it. And then she's qualified to do an interview. But she said when she read the first one, she had to read the second and third. And that's something she rarely does. And she calls that her highest basically praise that she can give. So I'm very thankful for that. Like, when you read it, I think the feedback we get the most is that it kind of it kind of snowballs. You kind of just tear through it like you binge an entire season. And
Yes.
that's really the best compliment I can get, that people would say that about my writing, because it's such a struggle to get people to read these days, and the fact that they read it and just kind of tore through the whole thing, I think that just meant that I did okay. So
Yeah, I would also second that, because when I read the first one and I got through all those scenes, I was like, all right, I need to know where this is going. So I read the second one like immediately. Then I ran and took a shower. I was like, oh no, do I have time to read it before this goes? Because I want to read all three. And then I ran through the whole thing. So I read issues 1 through 3. Then it's making me want to go back and read it again, so I make sure I didn't miss anything. But then I also want to go back and read it again just to go look at the art. So it keeps making me want to go back, because there's so many different layers of this that I want to keep going to look at, because it's just well done.
cool. Yeah, thanks a lot.
So
I mean,
I like all of that.
You can explore the backgrounds and everything, because there's a lot in there. Like I said, this story has been developed for 2 years, and I've been actually drawing it for about a year now. So it's very layered and very nuanced, and then you can kind of keep on revisiting it and see more and more. So it's very different from your average Marvel or DC comic, because those things have to be kind of churned out quickly. So this is like a real production. This is like as if it were a Pixar movie. You have to kind of plan everything, and then be just really methodically actually create the final product, which it takes a long time. So it's kind of weird that it just stands right next to the average Marvel or DC books. It's a very different product. So
which is it? So right now you have planned for 6 issues. You're gonna go past six issues, or are you gonna go just see how that goes as you're going forward?
I've always concluded at 6. I think that one of the problems I have with comics is it just kind of go on forever. And the fact that you need to go on forever means you can never really make a solid conclusion. So I do have a solid conclusion for this, but there is a pull from the bean counters to say, like, conclude the character, the story arc, but then keep the character arc alive for more issues. I don't know which way I'm going to go, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might branch off to what Daniel said in the trailer, to the other aspects of the things that might be available at the time. Also,
yeah, I mean, we have to see how this goes. I mean, if it just like kind of just sits there, then we're going to move on to another project.
Yeah.
But if people really like it, and when they read it, if they really like it, then we're just going to have to do more.
Yeah. So far, it's everything that I've seen, like online, the people posting about it, everything's been positive. From all the people that I've seen respond to it, just from Kickstarter alone and going to your interviews, people have really resonated with it, and they like it, and they want to see, they want to back it and want to look at it. So kudos to your team for all of that. Plus, Carl is doing a fantastic job just getting people out there and letting people be aware that it's out there. So kudos to him and your team. So yay. And
absolutely. Very thankful.
Yeah. Also, Jeremy says, I'm assuming this won't pass the Comic Code Authority.
Well, I mean, you read it, right? I think some people said that it's okay for even 12-year-olds to read, because there's a lot of stuff that's implied, but it never really goes there.
Yeah.
So
I think it goes to more of a comedic point before it goes anywhere. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine. You're fine. You'll be great. You'll be fine. So yes, so that's your $85 tier. So yes. Now this is cool here. So you have a signature series in here. So it's limited to 50. So some of these have already been claimed, but you get one standard 9x8. So these are guaranteed 9x8. So for $225, you're getting one standard. Okay, so you get, interesting. You get 10 items in this. They're guaranteed all 9/8 in these. So you're going to get issues 1 through 3 standard, and then you're going to get 1 through 3 the artist editions plus the digitals.
Right. And
or there's only one 9x8.
So they're signed, right?
Yeah. So you get one 9x8 signed by you and Daniel. In a
so
9/8
that's the key. Daniel Wu signs these, so you have Daniel Wu's signature.
Whoa. Okay. I figured it out now. You're getting 10 items. You're getting one 9x8, I guess, of issue 1. Yes. And then you get all the issues of 1 through 3 standard plus 1 through 3 artist editions. Plus you get all the digital stuff. So that's pretty dope. And they're both signed by you and Daniel. So, I mean, bam, boom, chakalaka. That's pretty awesome. There you go. That's pretty cool. Tier 6. Oh, this is dope. That's tier 6 for $300. You are going to be reaching into your comic art fan bundle. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Like, so over 3 decades of drawing comics professionally for Marvel and DC, I have a lot of original art. So a lot of it gets thrown into this thing. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but I gave them a whole bunch of artwork from 3 decades in comics. So you'll get stuff from Iron Man, Avengers Academy, Elektra, Spider-Man, X-Men the End. It's all in there. Nova pages, all mixed up in there. And then I think you get a certain amount of it, or somehow they divvy it out to the people at this tier. So they're original art pages, 11 by 17 with actual ink on them. And then I think what people realize about my original art, when you flip it over, you know how Bernard draws on the backside of the table?
Yeah.
This stuff is all this stuff. The backside is like a horror show with all this, the figuring out and the perspective lines, anatomical masses. It's all back there. So it's like it's good if you're like an artist. You can look back there and just see the layers and process that lead to the finished product. It's all documented on the backside.
That's awesome. So if they do, so this is limited to 100. So if they do limit this to 100, is there a list of ones that they can pick from, or is it just kind of completely random?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something that the publisher put out. Is, I'm sure they have some method in place for it. I just handed them a bunch of the artwork. So
it says randomly selected. You get a 1 of 1. So you get 1 art piece out of here, but there is some good pieces in there, some good stuff. So you don't know what you're gonna get. So it's like a mystery thing. It's interesting. Okay, so it says, so tax and shipping will be charged afterwards by backer kit. So remember that when you go to back, you're only backing whatever the pledge is now. Then when you go to your tax, when you go to your surveys, when they come in, so at the end when it is completed, your surveys for backer kit will come in, will have your shipping and your taxes. So at that time is when you will pay. Yes. So that's a cool tier. So for $300, you can own an actual 11 by 17 page from a comic book. So that's dope. Ooh, okay. So 400, you get artist pack 9.8. So you're gonna get 1 standard plus 1 artist edition. So is it gonna be the same matching covers, maybe, possibly, or randomly? Interesting. Both signed by you and Daniel. Ooh, that's some sexy stuff. Then you get the 1 through 3 standard, plus you get the 1 through 3 artist editions of each of the comics, plus the digital. $400. Boom. And those are limited to 25 copies. That's cool. It's a cool bundle. And then, what's this mega galore bundle? Whoa. $500. Marvel design art. What is this?
Oh, okay. One of the things I did for Marvel when I was there, a lot of times in between issues, if you're switching books, like when I was switching from Iron Man to Wolverine may not start for a while. So there might be a few dead months with nothing to do. So I did a lot of work for Marvel's creative service division. So I did a lot of character turnarounds. Like those are the 3 view front, side, and back of what each character in Marvel looks like. And that was just to standardize them, to hand out to different artists, so that just to keep the look kind of consistent, because you can have like Humberto Ramos draw it one way, just so you know like what everyone looks like. And also went out to the licensing people who made the lunch boxes and underoos and the sleeping bags, just to know what each of the characters look like in this current incarnation. So I did a ton of these. Like a lot of them just have like sometimes they're backgrounds, sometimes they're pictures of like I think if you look through them, I don't know if they really are put in the gallery anywhere, but you will recognize if you go to Party City, it's like, oh, that's a Sean Chen drawing. Like I would do a lot of those things that end up on the party hats and the posters and everything.
That's neat.
Yeah,
that's gotta be a trip though. Like when you're just walking through the random store, like, oh hey, I drew that. It's on like a plate.
Yeah, I mean, if you go like to Midtown Comics like that, there's a big Wolverine that everyone sees from the street. Like, that's something that I drew, and it's just really weird. Like I don't think anyone knows that, because it's nothing that's credited. It's just that you do that work for hire from Marvel, and then it ends up everywhere. Like I can walk through like any type of like Walmart and find my artwork on a lunchbox. And I mean, not so much anymore, because this was done a while ago. So I think the looks have changed, and they might have changed costumes. So they have, every decade or so, they have a new artist come in and do it. And this is because like I think what they like about my style is that it's a very good draftsmanship. This is what I'm thinking, that they like the draftsmanship, but it doesn't have like some strange style that's going to infect it. And you know, if someone draws like people with really big lantern jaw chins, like that's their style, it's not good for a style guide because then everyone's gonna to draw like that. So they wanted me because it was, you know, I draw people who look like people. So yeah, there's a ton of these, and this is what this tier is about. They actually are giving these out. Well, not giving out, I mean, this is part of this tier. So
yeah, that's awesome. So Jeremy says he actually got tier 6 and he can't wait to get it. So that's awesome, Jeremy.
oh, cool, that's great. Yeah. And all of that stuff is signed too, so it has my signature on all the art.
Fancy pants. Look at you, Jeremy, and everybody.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, for supporting. Yeah, I see these people's names who backed, and I suspect that they're from the stream because their full names aren't there, but I think I saw. So that's, you know, level 6. That's quite a lot. So I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. That's it's funny like when you run into somebody in another stream and you're like, wait a minute, I think I know you, but it's like their full name and you're like and he's just being like Duck Lord 47. You're like, who's Pete? Holy crap, Beef, be careful, man. Wow, be careful. You're all right.
Wow, that's
crazy.
Strong. That's hurricane speed, isn't it?
Yeah. He's over there and
that's tornado speed.
Yeah. Hopefully you're safe. Hopefully everybody over there is all right. Also, he says happy to support. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by the way. Yeah, some figures in here as well. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for hanging, by the way. Thank you again for coming out here to do this.
Oh yeah, what am I supposed to? It's Sunday night. I mean,
it is Sunday night, and I do still have 29 starred questions in the chat that I will be getting into shortly. We can breeze through that. It's no problem. I think some of them are duplicates. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm not gonna make you answer anything you don't want to answer. All right. So tier 8. Ooh, this is interesting. Ultimate VIP Signature Deluxe Box Set, $750. This is also limited to 25. One copy of each issue 1 through 3. You get the artist editions and elegantly packaged in a limited edition slipcase. Ooh. Plus you get the digital stuff. Plus you get, what is this here? Oh, comes with an exclusive print of the actual breathtaking cover for issue 3. Oh, nice. Lovely. Plus you get 2 9x8 slabs. The artist edition and the regular cover. Nice. That's a honking tier right there. Wow.
It's Daniel Wu's signature that really makes it.
Daniel Wu's signature. Psh, yeah. He's there too. He's good. He's good peeps. $900. The complete 9/8 collection. What is this? Oh, you get 9/8 of one of each of the covers. Both of you signed all of those. They're going to all 9/8. You get artist editions 1 through 3, and your regular editions 1 through 3. Regular editions 1 through 3 not slabbed, and then you get the artist editions 1 through 3 plus some PDFs. So that is a whopping. Wow, you got a couple people claiming that. Wow, that's pretty dope. I know there's a lot of completionists out there. So yeah, so they're all signed. The slabs are all signed. So wow, if you're gonna go hard, go big or home, go home. That's the one to go.
Yeah. You gotta love collectors. I mean, if they want to read, like, you know, you read the story. Like, I think most people, when they want to read a story, they can read it for free. If you can find some sort of like illegally uploaded of this comic,
there's
but
ways
the collectors
to do it,
are willing to spend a lot for a comic, and without them, we just won't be able to. Make it so.
They're a trip. So these are all sold out. So you sold out of a lot of tiers. So these were like your day one thank yous. You had some like digital exclusives. You had some like just exclusives for day one. Yeah. So these are cool. Those are all gone. But yeah, man, you guys sold out a lot of those. Yeah, that's awesome. So let me go up.
You went through this whole thing like it's like the home shopping network. So.
I did. Yeah, I like to do that. Oh, look, you got one backer while we were in here.
Oh wow, that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, it's really hard to go for a whole day and see that number not move. It's kind of like it's like really depressing. It's like,
yeah.
But whoever that was, thank you very much. You know, I'll do my best work for you. So
yes, thank you very much, whoever that was. If you were in here, round of applause for that. Boom, you deserve
absolutely. I'm
some
very
waffles.
thankful.
Yes. Beefaroni. Oh, KPH is not as bad as MPH, just as loud.
Okay. But even KPH, that's still pretty fast for
anything over 10 miles per hour. I'm gonna say that's pretty bad. So whatever that translates to, I don't know, because I can tell you right now, I've already had 4 power outages this year that were like week plus long. Don't want any more of those, so I don't suggest that on anybody.
Stay safe.
But also stay safe. Yes. No, I think I want to get the artist editions for these because sexy art is where I'm at. So yeah, let me close. I can close this now. We're done with it. All right.
Cool.
Let me get
Thanks
out of here.
for going through all that. Yeah.
Of course. That's what I like to do on here. I like to go through all of it, get in there, because I also like to back everybody that comes on here. So I also like to figure out which one I want. I don't usually know which one it is until I go through it. So yeah, I think that's what I settled on. So we've almost at the 2-hour mark, and that's, I told you this, it goes weird, it goes fast. But thank you for coming on here and doing that with me, talking with me, all that fun stuff. Let me close that. Okay, there we go. So you just did Baltimore, you just did San Diego. You're going to be going to New York. Well, not officially, but you will be there bouncing around.
I'll try to make it happen. We're trying to find some way to get an official presence there. So I have a couple of weeks to work something.
Perfect. Yeah, I have a feeling you'll be able to sneak in there and get a table-y booth thing easily. Yeah. But I think you just wedge the tables between Jerry and Bernard together and be like, oh, guess what? Bam. We now have another table right there. Yeah.
Also, easily. You know, in a few weeks, not to be very negative, but COVID could be in full swing. Not every artist is going to show up. You know, if they need someone, if they need a seat filler, I'm here to serve.
This is also true. So you hear that? New York Comic Con, Sean Chen is ready to really taking a table. Yeah.
And watch me get COVID. So
no, don't do that. Yeah, no, that'd be awful.
Mask up, everyone, and get vaccinated.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I got it super bad in 21, and I had like 2-3 shots at the time. That was awful. That was horrific at the time.
Oh wow.
Bernard's gonna be next to Peach Momo. Oh man,
that's right.
That is gonna be a harsh line. Yeah, because it's him. What is it? Him, Jerry. Somebody else is down that line too. That's gonna be a big line. Just saying.
Yeah, it's hard to know what the effect of Peach Momo. She's probably the most popular person at that show, so she's gonna create this black hole that everyone's gonna go to. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad for the D block because we just might be just buried by her crowd. You know.
Hold on, let me see. Let me go pull up Bernard's thing real quick because he has the table laid out. Let's see, where's he at? There he is. There's his face. Blah, blah, blah. Didn't he put it on there, or is that Jerry had it on his page?
I think it might be Jerry.
Jerry. All right, I'm gonna check Jerry.
You know, Peach Momoko caused that big. I mean, she was sort of like a swirling with controversy. Her last appearance at New York Comic Con.
Oh, he's also going to have the last of his shirts there too. All right, so Ken. Oh, you're next to. You got Bernard, Ken, Jerry, and Jeff all in the one little area. But I don't know who else is down that aisle. But yeah, you guys are going to be all down Block D. You know, I don't think there's another area that you guys should have been down. But yeah, Block D. She's D1. Okay. Okay, so it is. Wait, hold on. Let me get rid of this. It is Bernard is D4, Ken is D3, Jerry's D3, and then Jeff Darrow is D2. So you guys are right there. And then Peach is 1, you're saying?
That's the party block. So everyone should just go there. That
is going to be the super party block. If you guys don't know, they are quite party parties. You know what I want this year? Someone better get this. There better be a clear-cut picture of Raquel the Rat Lady. I'm telling you. So we could draw this lady. I'm telling you, this better be a battle of the sketches thing coming up. I need Raquel the Rat Lady.
Yeah, I'll get Jerry on that. Yeah.
Yes, get Jerry on that for us so we can have that happening. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. So hopefully you can be there all 3 days. Ooh, you got ID. Okay. Okay. So you got, okay. So you guys are close to like some big stuff happening. Oh, that makes sense now. So if she's D1, they did that on purpose because it's going to be right next to like we could go straight down and take it to like CBCS and like CGC. Because I have a feeling that's going to be like a big thing.
Right.
Yeah. So they put her on the corner like that on big time. Yeah. So you guys are going to have the party aisle. That's going to be happening. Yeah, you're definitely going to have.
I mean,
yes, I told. Yeah. See, rat lady prompt. Let's go. Yeah. Then you got. Are you guys gonna be streaming this Tuesday? Or are you still off break?
Yeah, I hope so. We've missed too many of them. I think we're gonna miss my entire month of my Kickstarter by not being on stream.
No.
I have a lot of people I need to thank. So.
Well, hopefully you do. And if you don't, go check it out. I did put it in my the post that I did, but I also link it down below so you guys can go follow them on, because it's on YouTube and Twitch. But the main one, the party place is on Twitch. So go hang out on the Twitch, and then you really get to see the fun stuff happen on there. And you get to drop all the bird and the hubbas and all that fun stuff.
And you get to ask specific drawing questions, and it'll be answered by a few professional working comic book artists. So we take all those questions seriously. We take the educational component of a stream very seriously.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of fart jokes too. So.
Yes, and then if you're there, you can save up and redeem 20,000 points and make Bernard fart. Just what I always use my points for. Oh, you guys also have a Discord, which is pretty neat, and you guys do page reviews, and then he'll go. He does page reviews, and sometimes you guys still do the thing where he'll do the pages and then the layouts and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that's a few times a year we go through that. It's a very educational, just how to lay out a page.
Yeah, that's fun. I like those streams a lot. Those are really good, and then they're very, very detailed. And all of you guys give a lot of good advice on those. And it's not just like, oh, move it over here. You get really into why and how something should be moved over there, and not just the reasons, but you explain more of like for the story of why it should be moved over there. And
so that you can kind of teach yourself, so that you don't have to rely on what Bernard says all the time. I mean, he tells you, educates you, and you can become a better storyteller, and to the point where you don't need him anymore. So you can kind of teach yourself this stuff.
Yeah. Which is really good. So they got the Discord going. You got that. You got any other appearances coming up this week besides probably like 80?
Oh, like a bunch of friends. They all have their shows. So I'm gonna do a little bit of each one.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So it's been about 2 hours. You want to get out of here and go relax and chill now?
Yeah, I think maybe dinner's done, but it's been a great time.
Dinner sounds good. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Please come back anytime. And if you're not hustling something else, we can just chill and relax and do something. My other series, and I do have it. Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Is the original 11x17 the next Kickstarter, blue line art, or regular pencils?
Oh, they're inked. So all the 11x17 stuff, I pencil on it, and then it goes off to an inker like Scott Hanna or whoever was inking me at the time. And they would ink over it, and then the last step is for them to erase all the pencils away. So it is my art, but then the actual pencil marks are erased, and so all you get is like all the glorious inks. So if you were to hang it up, it really shows well, because pencil can kind of be smudgy and kind of gray. The inks are really good inkers. They can do like the really delicate feathering. And then you flip it over on the back, and then that's all graphite pencil on the back for me trying to figure out what's going to be on the front side. So that's basically what it is. 11x17, inked by whatever inker I had at that time. So there's probably no pencil on the front anymore, because you do have to remove that for it to be camera ready.
Cool. Okay. We did have 29 questions in the chat. I felt very bad. We could ask a couple of them.
Sure.
Callie has a really good question. Who have you always wanted to work with, living or deceased?
Wow, work with. I don't like writing. I don't know. I like collaborating a lot, and there are people who I really am blown away by from a storytelling standpoint. Like I always loved Alan Moore, um, and then with like people like Bernard, like Jerry, just to do something, to collaborate on a project together, that would be a lot of fun. We kind of are all artists, but to work on something where like an anthology, it requires like 5 artists. It'd be great to kind of work with them.
That would be fun. Yeah. You guys have
and
enough in that group to do that. Yeah, that would be great.
That's when comics gets really fun. I mean, you spend like most of your career working for Marvel or DC, and they call the shots. There are other writers that do stuff, and you can't really work together. But then when you become old farts, maybe you save up enough money that you can put together your own projects, and then I guess we would have to develop a following, and hopefully they would kind of do what I'm doing and just kind of strike out on their own and create their own stories, and then we can decide who we want to bring into as a team and just have a lot of fun. And hopefully we have a community big enough that would support that. But without that, then we'll just continue working for Marvel and DC, which is not so bad.
Good answer. No, I would actually really like to see that, because didn't somebody say before that they wanted to get together and do like a Battle of the Sketches book or something and put everyone's things together? That would also be really cool. I would like to see that as well. That would be fun.
Because it would include a lot of Stream People stuff in there.
Yeah. And that's also fun, seeing more and more people start participating in that as well. I like that a lot. Glenn wants to know, what is your favorite film of all time?
Well, I mean, for me, I like movies. Most of my storytelling chops come from watching a lot of movies. And one of the reasons I become a writer is because movies, particularly it's a lot of times people don't read them. I'm not that much of a novel reader, not since I graduated college, but I watch a lot of movies, and the really good ones really hit me. So Blade Runner is by far my favorite, and I also have a soft spot for the Road Warrior, the latest one, and then the original.
I like those.
And then a lot of times it's science fiction stuff, and I've recently started to really appreciate horror. I never really liked it before because it always seemed like it was kind of like very juvenile. But really, from a writer standpoint, if you write it correctly, it becomes like the ultimate conflict, because it's man versus self a lot of times, because it's all in your head. So that guy Ari Aster, who does his last movie, was it Midsummer?
Midsommar. Yeah.
That really blew me away. Just how you can do a lot of great writing in there. So
nice.
I mean, that's something I really appreciate.
Would you ever want to do a horror novel? I mean, a horror book?
Horror, like I think the original comics were not superhero; they were horror, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
a lot of
sure.
people don't know that. So the comics medium, you would do it differently than you would do in a novel or in a movie, but it is its own thing. And it's interesting to explore. So, I would like to one day. I mean, I always thought that sci-fi was the end all be all for me, but I've really come to appreciate horror, especially the stuff that Jordan Peele is doing.
Yeah. Has some good stuff out.
It's very literate horror, because like I do like to apply all like the good storytelling stuff in there, the character development. But I kind of always associated with like jump scare, just like really slasher kind of sometimes very dumbed down stuff. I just thought that was all of what it was, but then you can get stuff like The Shining, and Rosemary's Baby. There's a lot of like really deep horror stuff out there, and I would like to do that.
There's a lot of really good sci-fi horror stuff as well. It's amazing. So that's cool too. There's a lot of really good, like the old school style. Like over here, you have like the classic Universal Monsters type horror stuff, which that to me has some of the finest cinematography, just art pieces in it. Like each one of these are actually stills from the movies. Like each one, just like art piece alone, just costumes and the stuff in it, just fantastic by itself. So I think that's just a whole art piece by itself. So yeah, definitely. I would like to see you do an art book. I mean, a horror thing. That would be awesome.
I was never really a guy who drew with a lot of like spotting blacks. That could be like, for some reason there's a barrier there. Like I'll draw like a lot of detail, but then the things that are black are if the person has black hair or wearing a black shirt, I'll make that black. But then a lot of times what you really need to do is really shade and build the form out of shadow. And ink is such a binary tool that that you don't get the gradation. So if you're drawing like a female and you got to make her primarily in shadow, like it ends up being very harsh. Like she ends up being like very, it's just not natural because shadows in real life are not jet black. They're, you know, there's a lot of gradations. So it just, you know, if you were to pick a type of artist that draws Batman and one that draws Superman, even though I like Batman, I probably am more suited to draw Superman.
Interesting. Glenn would love you for that because Glenn, if you haven't seen, is that's his favorite superhero. And he also wants to know, what's the weirdest thing a fan has asked you to do? Weird question.
Well, you know, it's nothing ever got that crazy. There's a market out there for people who love the pop culture characters, like the Marvel characters, but they also can get kind of like really pervy, and you know, they have no place to get their interests expressed. So, you know, Marvel's not going to draw like a Rogue with her boobs hanging out because that's not sanctioned. Maybe like if you can get Frank Cho to do it, maybe, and that's really for your personal collection. So there's a lot of people who request those things. Some of the scenarios they asked are too bizarre, but you know, I don't really. I don't look down on that stuff because I think it's a legitimate thing. People have these desire to see things, and I kind of have to turn it down because if you're like we're lucky we get to draw the Marvel and DC characters without permission from the company, so they kind of allow us to tolerate it. But if you start drawing them in ways that they're not supposed to be represented, you have to really be able to trust that person. They're not going to let it out of their collection. It's for them only. And then it's going to go with them in the box when they die or something that can never be seen. So that's probably the weirdest thing. And then someone had me sign their baby once. So.
Whoa, their baby?
Oh yeah, their diaper. You know. It's...
Oh, wow. So now I'm kind of going off the same thing. He wanted to know regarding the gatekeeping. Is that just for Marvel and DC, or should that be applied to crowdfunding publications like Kickstarter?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because they really are a separate thing. There's independence. I think independents are really where it's at now. Because I think Marvel and DC are kind of like they're heading in a direction that is probably not the best for them. And then the people who are reactionary, they're kind of going off into independence and doing like real art in the independents, and the stuff for Marvel DC is more corporate. But yeah, I don't know about whether it means that the independents have to go away, but for the health of the industry, it would be very tough for me to, if they want to take my pencils away and said like, this is for the good of the industry, and I agree it's for the good of the industry, I would still have a hard time not putting stuff out. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but there's just too much stuff out there. And it's unfortunate that the solution is for people to stop creating. Some people to stop creating. I think that's a horrible thing to say, but I don't really know how much truth there is to the fact that that's what the industry needs. But if it is what it needs, I'm like, that's unfortunate because we just have to like make comics for ourselves and not put it out there to kind of to dilute the attention from building. It is important for us as independents to help Marvel and DC or allow them to grow as much as they can, because when they get bigger, then it takes all of us with them. So, you know, I wish the best for them. And I think the horrible realization is the best for them would be just for me to just lock away my pencils and then do something else for a while. You know? But
yeah, and you're pretty good at doing a lot of other things. So, but yeah, no, you're an awesome artist. So Jordy wants to know, do you do any art outside of illustration, like modern, classical, or contemporary art? Do you like doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think for me, as a person that makes things, there has to be a creative component, but there also has to be a highly technical component. And that technical part keeps a lot of people out because there's a lot of like spreadsheets and data booklets and stuff like that to figure things out. You know, when I renovate kitchens and stuff, that's highly technical and there's a lot of measuring and stuff. So, and also I make these resin toys. Yeah, I had a big bootleg toy business where I would make designer toys and produce them and sell them. And that's all. Like, there's a lot of chemistry involved, so I like that stuff. One thing I don't like about art is that it's anything goes. I mean, you put it out there, and then if someone says they don't like it, well, it's like, well, that's just your opinion, because there's no kind of benchmark to know when you succeeded or not. So I just don't like that free form art where, like abstract art, where anything goes. So, I think in a sense anyone can do that, and then legitimately say like that it's in its perfect state, because it's art. It could be anything. But when it comes to comics, you really do know when the artwork is failing, because there are guidelines that tell you how successful it is. And I do need that structure to know that I'm doing well in it.
Perfect. All right. There's another 20-some questions in there, but I think we can wrap it up. I'll ask one more in here, and then we can get out of here. I know you're hungry. I'm hungry. So, and CJ, these are all your questions. So when you run into him at New York City, which I know you will, you can ask him all these plus whatever else you want. And
absolutely, yeah. Ask him. Ask me in person too. Yeah.
Yes, ask him in person. So, question. He wants to know. Let's see. What's a good juicy one? Okay, that's a good one. This is also good because you're coming up to con. Do you sell your own books at con? And if so, do you charge extra for a signature if someone buys something from you?
Oh, I don't charge for signatures, although everyone else does, and I think I might have to start, just because when people bring up a pile of books and they want me to sign them, they say like, well, how much will that be? Like they're sure it costs money, and I was like, oh, it doesn't cost anything, because it's never cost anything in the 30 years I've been doing this. But when you say that, they look at you like you're crazy. And I think just to not feel or appear crazy, I would just probably charge like $2 or something for it. It also keeps people from, I mean, if you've been working for 30 years, people can bring an entire long box and you just be stuck there forever.
Yeah.
So it does kind of keep the numbers down. And I do sell the book that I did before this one that's on the Kickstarter is called Wingman. And that's my first thing. So I did this comic. I wrote it and drew it. It's my first written piece ever. And I put it all out on Instagram for free because I didn't really know whether I could write, because I really wanted to, but I can't charge people for it, and I can't get a publisher on board because I have no experience. So I just put out this 60-page comic on Instagram, and I would only do more if people had an appetite for it, and surprisingly, people did. So by the time I wrapped up that entire story, it was published in 2 places, like one at Next Chapter Post, and then the other one was Heavy Metal Magazine. So that it was published, and that gave me like a real shot in the arm that maybe I could write, because really there's no way to tell unless you do it. And then the first one you kind of have to give away for free. So that book is all. I have a bunch of those, and I take those to a show, and you can buy my first written work, and it's very humorous, and it's also very deep and philosophical, and I will sign it for free.
That's awesome. I think like if you're buying something directly from somebody at a con and they have the book there and you're purchasing that from them, then I think you should just sign, because you're already purchasing that. But if you're going to bring some books to you, maybe 1 or 2, but if you're going to bring a whole long box, you should expect somebody to charge for that, because that's so much time already, and it's taking from people that are probably in your line already, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because that takes up so much time, like that's going to take up from your interaction with other sales. That's a lot.
Sometimes it's very obvious that those aren't really their books. It's not for their collection.
Yeah.
I'm usually very lenient on that. But then when they're really they're like a store and they have books in there just from the people at the show, and so they can kind of resell it for more money. I think it's okay to kind of charge a little bit, just to,
yeah. Jeremy and Figure are both saying the same thing. First, give them a taste, and then charge. Give them a taste, get them addicted, then charge. There you go. Boom. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. you have been here 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, save your questions for later. Please come back on another time. We can just do the artist one, and you're, come back anytime, and we'll chat more. And we'll be back.
Well, I'm gonna be here for the Bernard one. I'm gonna be lurking.
Yes, come for the Bernard one and give him crap in the chat. Yes.
And also make him a name tag like mine, where it's pink.
Okay. Oh, I will gladly make him a pink one. Yeah. Was there anything else you want me to add on his thing? Because he doesn't have a thing for that.
Yeah,
so
but you should call him a fartist like you do on your other.
It will say fartist right there. So it'll say fartist, and then it'll have him down there. So yeah, it'll be great. So yeah, I can really, really amp up the farts, the poop emojis. Could probably also put his head right there next to the fart sign. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I'll say Sean made me do it right there. Yeah, nice. All right. Thank you so much, Sean. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Actually, so possibly Tuesday there might be a stream. Maybe, we don't know. Friday for sure you'll come and harass Bernard. That's at 6 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. Eastern. And you got any other things happening besides New York? Like you mentioned like that?
No real plans after that. But anyone who wants to keep up with what I'm doing, Instagram is my main social media. So that's at Sean Chen Art, and I'm pretty much post whatever I'm drawing every day. And a lot of good educational and fun stuff there. So please check it out, and also please do take a look at the Kickstarter at least, and then the lowest pledge $2. Very very affordable.
True. Yeah. Yes, I must say you're very, very, very interactive with your comment section. So if you do leave a comment, you will interact with the comments. So well on for you for doing that. You and Bernard are great about doing that. So big props for you guys.
Well, I love my community because they support me, and then they have a genuine curiosity about the process, and I know what that feels like. So I really want to answer everyone who comments.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me, Sean. It was a lovely, lovely time, and I had such a pleasure getting to know you. It's the first time actually being like on a panel together, even though we've chatted a million times all over the place. So thank you so much. And they're all saying, "Oh, he's gonna be there. She's gonna meet Jeremy Joe in New York." So great.
Oh yeah, I'll be looking out. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get some food. Let's go relax.
All right. Thanks for having me on. I had a great time. So I will see you probably Tuesday. So.
Yes, I will see you probably Tuesday in the chat with you guys. I'll go give you some crap and hopefully redeem my 20,000 points to make Bernard fart. So yeah, I know Jerry loves that. Oh, thanks, El. Thanks so much. All right,
thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out.
All right. Oh, yes. All right, go back to his Kickstarter and go check him out and go follow all those things. If you're at New York, go harass him and find him and go say hey.
All right. Cool. Thanks a lot. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.